had a photo taken of me at one Pride parade, standing with a friend by the Globe and Mail, I think. And the friend I was standing with was very concerned because he wasn't gay, but he didn't want to be labeled as gay because he was standing watching the parade as well as being exposed, so to speak, at a gay parade. So it was, for him it was unnerving. For me, I said, you're standing on the street, it's not a big deal. But it caused him a lot of concern.
And you didn't want to lose your job on Monday.
Right.
That was the number one thing. If anyone took a picture of you, you were putting everything on the line, including your housing. If your landlord even suspected you were gay, even if you weren't, you could be thrown out. So, you wanted to stay under the radar as much as possible, but still making the rippling effects. And for myself, at the time, I would have been 16. And what was happening in my world, in Niagara, was in and around the same time, we also had the Seaway Mall bust. The police built a fake wall in the washroom, videotaped men having sex, and what they ended up doing was the Monday after the weekend of filming, they printed 31 names of the men, their ages, where they lived, their full addresses, their job positions, whether they were married, how many children they had, and that was front page of the Welland Evening Tribune. The scariest part of that was, yes, I had sex as a teenager there on the Thursday when the wall was already built, but I was not listed in the Friday, Saturday, Sunday, the 31 men that they charged. We had somebody commit suicide immediately afterwards. What ended up happening was most of the men were men who didn't have other outlets or were still struggling with their own sexuality, and they're married. So all of this was going on all over different places, but that was the bigger issue for me because it impacted me personally, and I realized I have to get out of here. I have to financially support myself, be independent, and then I'm able to take care of myself. And until I do, I'm vulnerable.
Part of the coming out that I had with my family, I was a very young teenager at 11, 12, 13 years old. One of the ways that families dealt with that was through psychiatry. And the psychiatry at that time dealt with homosexuality as a disease, curable disease. And they did many different therapies depending on what they felt the severity of the homosexuality was. In my case, I was hospitalized for periods of time, and during that hospitalization, one of the therapies, the aversion therapy, was interesting. They would strap you into a chair and put electrodes on your fingers, and they would show you a picture of a nude woman, and there'd be no adverse effect, and then they would flip to a nude male and then start the shocks on your fingers, and you were given a little control button, and when you couldn't stand the pain any longer, you pushed the button and the photo went back to a nude female. So they also treated me with shock therapy, ECTs. That really scrambles your brains. I lost my place in time and my ability to focus. But it never deterred me from the sexual aspect of it, because sex is far more exciting than any aversion therapy that anyone can do. There are issues now as an older adult where there are flashbacks. They have been a part of my life for my whole life because of that episode. That wasn't unusual. That treatment was not unusual.